you know that in Paris, the Indian Paralympic team has just wrapped up their most successful campaign ever at the 2024 Games. They've brought home a stunning 29 medals, 7 gold, 9 silver and 13 bronze. The last few days have been filled with incredible images. You'll remember, and you can see that on your screens. There was a 13-year-old Sheetal Devi's visuals who went viral. She had that perfect bullseye and her steely concentration as she was in those last few minutes just zoning in. There was Navdeep Singh's gold-clinching javelin throw and that stomach-churning moment right before it.
But as we celebrate their success, let's also sort of ask an important question to ourselves. How accessible is our country for our heroes once they return home? Now, while India is making strides, there are still significant hurdles. Only 6% of buses are fully accessible for wheelchair users. Train stations remain a challenge due to steps and bridges. With 1 in 3 persons with disability living in our cities, today on the show, we thought we'll get right into the question and ask the elephant in the room. How can we make our infrastructure and our day-to-day life more inclusive? Not just celebrate these athletes on the podium, but even on the streets.
Right, so in the last few years, you have had some innovative solutions enter into the public arena. You have, for example, Fifth Sense, Inclu Maps, Accessible, My Udan. These are all initiatives that are paving the way for a more independent living. But the change goes beyond just mobility, even though that itself is an area that's not entirely solved. You also have aspects like representation, for example, and we thought this number was stunning. Did you know that there was only one candidate with a disability across parties, and this is obviously a known candidate with a disability, in the entire 2024 general elections? So to explore how we can build and create a truly accessible India, we have with us on the show this morning disability rights activist Nipun Malhotra. He's with us here. Nipun is the founder of Nipman Foundation. He's also the founder chair of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industries Diversity and Inclusion Working Group. That's quite a title on empowering persons with disabilities. Nipun, can we just start off bright and early on this Monday morning by asking you, if you had to give India a ranking of sorts, just tell us where it stands right now. When you look globally at different countries, how much they've made themselves accessible infrastructurally over the last few years, where does India stand?
So I think the glass is both half full and half empty in that sense. India, of course, has a long way to go when it comes to accessibility. I mean, if you go to Europe or the United States of America, you can't even find a single Starbucks that does not really have a ramp, etc., because accessibility is such a strong mandate there. Having said that, in India, there have been some developments over the last few years. In 2015, the government announced the Accessible India campaign. In 2016, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 came up. These are laws that are very strong on paper. These actually mandate accessibility. Today, according to law, every public infrastructure in this country has to be made accessible in that sense. The problem in India actually is more of implementation than really the laws on paper. And I think that is the big challenge that we really need to work on in the coming years.
Okay.
I see. Nipun, you've been somebody who's been working on this issue. You've been a spokesperson. You've even knocked the doors of Supreme Court several times for representation and all of it. But I want to understand this from you. On one hand, when you see such a massive sort of victory and medals coming in India's way, does it speak of the infrastructure on the whole that has developed as well?
Yes, in a way it does. I mean, in 2012, India had won just 1 medal in the Paralympics. I think we've come a long way from there. And I think what also happens when a country starts progressing in terms of medals in Paralympics is that there are role models that come up for people with disabilities. Today, if there's a young girl at home in a village, she will be told by her parents, that, Deepa Malik could do this, Sheetal Devi could do this, Mansi Joshi could do this, you can do this as well.
Yeah.
And I think that is something which is extremely important. If one goes through the stories of all these para-athletes in this country, the one common trend amongst all of them is that there have been a lot of sacrifices from their parents in that sense. It's really the story of at least one of the parents who's done a lot as well, as much as the Paralympian. So yes, I think these aspirational role models have played a big role. But at the same time, when you're talking about, infrastructure for parasports, I don't know there are how many schools in even a city like Delhi today really have the infrastructure to support parasports. It's more of the family influence that is really leading to these para-sports persons achieving in life. It's great that the government has started supporting a bit now. There are big cash awards that have come for medalists. There are private sector companies that are funding them in sector as well. But I think there's still a lot more needs to be done for institutional change when it comes to para-sports in this country.
Nipun, before we get to asking you a little bit about what you think needs to be done, I just want to ask you because, and I just want to share this with our audiences, you've been a disability rights activist for many, many years now. So you can maybe speak to the next question I ask you, which is when you do try to advocate for change, and this is something you do across the country, what have you found? Are there groups of people that are very, very open to this idea? Who are those people? Are there certain regions that are more open to it? More organizations? Just tell us a little bit more about what your experience has been.
I think attitudes have slowly started changing. I mean, of course, in India, there is still a big social stigma around disability. Just a couple of months back, I was at a market in South Delhi where somebody came up to me and asked, told me that it's really unfortunate that I'm a person with a disability, but he then went on to say that perhaps you've done some bad karma in your past life that is getting corrected with this disability. And if that wasn't enough, he actually asked me that, do you have a sibling? And I said, I have a younger brother. So he said, okay, I'm glad at least your parents have some hope if you have a younger brother who is not a person with a disability. So those challenges remain. But at the same time, I think a lot of awareness has started coming in. I mean, people like you in the media have started covering disability a lot more, there are more stories, there are more role models with persons with disabilities. We have a strong law that can be used as a weapon to create the kind of change that is required in that sense. There's a very active Department of Disability Affairs in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment today, which is talking a lot about disability in that sense as well. So yes, there are positive changes, and it's all about finding allies everywhere really, right? From ministries in the government to CEOs in the private sector who are passionate about disability and through whom change can happen. And I often, say that 7 to 8% of India's population is disabled as per most estimates. At least 7 to 8, in fact. WHO says that
hard to find a number on that,
of the world's population is persons with disabilities. And really, if we keep such a huge population behind, India cannot become the economic superpower that it wants to become. So it's not really charity when we are including persons with disabilities. It's a necessity to reach the next step in our dream.
Nipun, firstly, kudos to you having taken that with a chin up, those comments like these, and I'm sure these come to you, these come to everybody else who's, who is specially abled, as we like to say, and facing it every day. So kudos to that. But is it then boiling down to the key question of representation? When you have a DM of Noida who has a disability, when you have the Chief Justice of India talk about how he's going to revamp the entire Supreme Court premises to make it disabled friendly, are these then the steps that will make sure that we become a more inclusive society and work on our infrastructure?
Absolutely. And Sonal, before that, I would just like to correct you on one small thing. The UN recognized word is persons with disabilities. And I think for this country to move forward, we actually need to move away from euphemisms like specially abled and differently abled, I often joke that everybody in this world is specially abled in some way. Somebody might be a good singer, somebody might be a good anchor, somebody might be a good writer, and a fourth person might be good at something else. And, once we accept the term persons with disabilities and we accept people for what they are, it's only then that we can really create the right change. So I think that is something that I really hope for. Yeah. And at the same time, I think the infrastructure, you mentioned infrastructure change. I'm going to give you an interesting example when it comes to infrastructure change as well. Today, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 actually mandates that all public infrastructure needs to be made accessible. At the same time, the building bylaws that are operating in every state in this country do not have the accessibility guidelines incorporated into them. So when the government, Babu, goes to give a completion certificate for a particular building, they are going to look at the building bylaws and give a completion certificate. But tomorrow I can sue that particular building because it violates the RPWD Act. So I think what also needs to happen is a lot of harmonization of laws in that sense really for the country to become accessible. I think you also mentioned representation. That was your second part of your question. I'm not sure. In terms of representation, as Soya said in the introduction as well, it was unfortunate that there was just one candidate with a disability across political parties in India. I often say that disability, unlike other minorities, is something which is a horizontal identity. Vertical identities are identities that pass down from one generation to the other, whether it's caste or religion, which is why political parties often don't realize how big a minority it is because it doesn't get ghettoized in particular regions. But at the same time, because of the sheer size of the disabled population, political parties need to realize that if they start having disability cells, they're going to have a huge first mover advantage when it comes to disability. I said 7 to 8% of India's population is disabled. At the same time, if you start attracting disabled voters, you're not just attracting the disabled voter, but you're attracting their entire family as well, which could easily be around 30% of this country. And more than that, since you are mentioning accessibility, accessibility is not just going to help somebody like me, it's going to help everybody because we are all temporarily able-bodied. Today, anybody is a fracture or an injury away from getting from facing the same accessibility challenges as I have. Other than that, I'm sure a lot of your viewers have an elderly parent or grandparent at home, or perhaps an elderly parent or grandparent is watching this show at home. And after a certain age, our knees start giving way. We start losing eyesight. We start losing the ability to hear. Don't we then have the same accessibility challenges that persons with disabilities have too? So when you're investing in disability, you're not really investing for persons with disabilities, but you're investing for everybody else. And I think that is the mantra that we need to follow.
Nipun, that's beautifully said. Can I ask you something? For our audiences who are watching right now, you touched on, for example, the fact that there are probably a lot of older people watching the show. But for everyone watching, I want to ask you, if audiences asked you, what should our takeaway be? How can we engage in the spaces around us, make sure they are accessible? And I don't just mean mobility. We've talked a lot about mobility today, but in the different ways, what would you actually suggest? Because it often feels like koi aur kar lega. What would you suggest?
No, I think that's a great point you said when you said not just mobility. Because when we talk about accessibility, and this often happens in conversations around accessibility in India, we're only talking about physical accessibility. Digital accessibility is another big challenge that persons with disabilities face too. I mean, today, for example, if you look at websites, are they really accessible to the blind? There are a lot of people who are on social media. You put images up every day. Are we putting up image descriptions or all text? Every social media app, if you notice closely, has that option. That really makes the image accessible to a person who is blind in that sense. And apart from that, I think an attitudinal shift also really, needs to happen. Are we working on making our own houses accessible? If we make our own houses accessible, tomorrow it's only going to help us if we get an injury or something. Are we working on making our own offices accessible? And apart from that, how are we really treating people around us? In the end, we really need to realize that this country is diverse. And I think the beauty of this country is that it's diverse. So really treating people equally for their abilities and not their disabilities across gender, caste, religion, sexuality and disability. That's what's really going to make this country a beautiful country to live in.
Okay. That's really nice. Nipun, then tell me this, that if we were to put you in charge of fixing all the problems for a day, if Nipun were to be sitting in a powerful chair today and say that this is what needs to be done for inclusiveness, for ensuring that the world that we live in is more caring, is more adaptive and is more receptive of the disabled people, what would you do? Tell me one thing that you will change.
I think I would like to integrate disability more in society in that sense. For example, in schools today, we have environment education, we have gender education. Why don't we have disability education at the same time? That would ensure that every student who's coming out of school is more sensitive. We have NGOs that are doing accessibility audits, universal design, etc. Why are all architecture students not taught universal design and accessibility? Why is the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act not taught in law school so that all lawyers are not trained on disability in that sense? So I think education in that sense can play a major role. Secondly, I praise the Department of Disability Affairs, but at the same time, why do we need a separate Department of Disability Affairs? Why doesn't every ministry have a nodal officer with respect to disability? Because disability is such an intersectional issue, right? It affects housing, education, sports, everything. So I think that is something else that would be something which is extremely important as well. But I think the challenge is very big. On my first day, I would pass an order that give me 5 years to solve the problem instead.
It's like a genie who asks for more wishes. Can we ask you, Nipun, lastly, and Sonal touched on this when she was asking one of her questions, the work you've done in the Supreme Court when it comes to the portrayal of those with disabilities in film. I just want to ask you there, Because it's a tricky question. Tell us, A, what have your issues been to the way in which it's been portrayed on film? And then tell us examples of where it's done beautifully, because I really want our audiences to leave this talk with actual concrete takeaways.
Right. So I had gone to the Supreme Court earlier this year. I'll give you a brief background. I went to the Supreme Court against this year against this movie called Aak Micholi, which had released late last year, which showed people with disabilities in a very negative way. It really lampooned and laughed at disability. For example, there's somebody who had a memory problem who was called a Bulakkar Baap. Somebody who had And the crux of this movie really was that if you are a person with a disability and you want to get married, the only way for you to succeed is to hide your disability. And I felt negative portrayal of people with disabilities can really reinforce stereotypes that already exist in society around disability. And that's when I went to the Supreme Court. And when I went to the Supreme Court, my lawyers argued beautifully, and the Supreme Court Chief Justice asked me to speak as well. And the only point I said, and this is the point I said because I knew that a lot of my friends are going to ask me this as well, that do you really have a problem with humor, and are you trying to say that freedom of speech and expression should be stopped? So I made this differentiation, between humor that laughs at situations persons with disabilities face, which is perfectly acceptable because actually that helps in highlighting the challenges people with disabilities face, but laughing at disability itself is something which is extremely wrong. And unfortunately in India, that is something which is happening a lot, where the disability itself is laughed at rather than situations people with disabilities face, which is very negative. I'm sure a lot of your viewers have seen Sholay, for example, right? There's that iconic scene where Gabbar cuts off Thakur's hands because he says that it's better to have no hands than to die. Is that really a reality? Are we trying to say that somebody like Sheetal Devi should not exist because she doesn't have hands? Clearly she proved Gabbar wrong, right? And this is what I wanted to prove wrong in all these movies as well. And that's why I went to the Supreme Court, and I'm delighted that the Supreme Court came out with guidelines on the portrayal of people with disabilities, not just in movies, but in all kinds of visual media. And I think that will play a major role in how people with disabilities are looked at in society.
Okay.
Yeah. Nipun, with you, and kudos to you and more power to you to keep at it. But one has to ask the question that what gives you strength to keep doing this every day? You've been at it for several years, if not decades, ensuring that you become a brand ambassador of sorts for disability. You have, like you said, taken to courts, gone and met politicians, addressed forums, you're a TED Talk speaker, you're a motivational speaker as well. What keeps you going?
When I was born, doctors, I was born with fractures in my arms and legs. This was pre any disability legislation in India, and doctors actually told my parents that Nipun is going to live the life equivalent of a wooden doll. But I was lucky because my mother decided to really look at my abilities and not my disabilities, sent me to a normal school, and life went uphill from there. But I think there are many others who don't really have that opportunity or the privilege. And I really want to fight for them so that they can have that same equality without that opportunity as well. And I think the joy that I really get is whenever there's a person with a disability who can benefit from any of the work that I can do. And I think it's really the independence that I can give people with disabilities that really keeps me moving.
Nipun, thank you. At every single point, the points you've made have just moved us. I hope for our audiences too, this has provided an inspiring start for their Monday mornings. Thank you so much for joining us right here in studio.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take you now from this to stories that are taking place across the globe. We'll start though with the Paralympics themselves. Cheery spectators came out of the Stade de France Stadium despite the rainy weather. This is after the Paris 2024 Paralympics Games closing ceremony on Sunday. 24 French DJs, including electronic music pioneer Jean-Michel Jarre, as well as Cassius, played in the final part of the event. During the show, the 169 delegations paraded to the tunes of French classics, which got the spectators singing along. We'll continue to bring you all of the developments there as the Paris Paralympics came to a close.
On Sunday, dozens of dogs were on the water in Del Mar in Santiago as they took part in the longest running canine surf competition in the country. The Helen Woodward Animal Centre hosted its 19th annual dog surfathon at the Del Mar Dog Beach. Dogs wearing costumes, goggles, rode their surfboards as owners cheered them on. The Helen Woodward Animal Centre was established in 1972 as an organisation where people help animals and animals help people.
And with our next story, we take you to a big development, a historic development taking place in China. China has said it'll no longer send children overseas for adoption. And with this, it's overturning a more than 3-decade-old rule that has been rooted out in and once its strict one-child policy. More than 160,000 Chinese children have been adopted by families across the world since 1992. And that's when China first opened its doors to international adoption. Around 82,000 of these children, mostly girls, have been adopted in the United States. This is according to China's Children International.
Bolivia has declared a national emergency due to raging forest fires, the country's defense minister announced on Saturday. Now, Bolivia has seen the largest number of wildfires since 2010, with at least 3 million hectares burnt this year, according to INPE, Brazil's space research agency that monitors fires. Now, South America is in the throes of the peak of fire season that spans August and September after an unusually early fire season started devastating the country in July following a drought.
And we're taking you to North Korea with visuals right now of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un inspecting an artillery academy in Pyongyang. The North state-run television reported all of this on Sunday. Footage carried by the state broadcaster showed Kim being greeted by cadets and officials at the Oh-Jin-Il Artillery Academy. He was also seen inspecting the academy's collection of military vehicles in this footage. During his visit to the academy, Kim stressed the importance of the educational field specializing in artillery, adding that the ruling working parties of Korea's philosophy for artillery is to defeat the enemy overwhelmingly.
Let's talk AI then. AI can make pictures, it can make still pictures move, but can it also make movies? Well, that's the question that comes to mind with AI making advances in every field, doesn't it? Watch this report to know more.
This animated film was screened at the Reply AI Film Festival in Venice, a short film competition that awarded the innovative use of AI and the quality of storytelling. The theme: Synthetic Stories, Human Heart. Filippo Rizzante is the CTO of Reply, an international consulting group that works in AI and digital media, and who organized the competition.
We have not seen if those technologies can be used correctly in order to produce, for example, a good story, a good piece of content. We still need, as humanity, to have heroes and to have people that we embody somehow and so on. But so this will not change, honestly. What will change is how we produce content and how we distribute and how we consume content, for sure.
Running during the official Venice Film Festival, the AI Short Film Festival might be expected to ruffle a few feathers. Rizzante says they initially struggled to find partners.
Most of them were saying, no, we don't want you, because obviously there is a transition where all the industry is worried about.
Rob Minkoff was one of the festival's judges. He co-directed The Lion King and directed Stuart Little, among other films. He says the technology should be viewed as a new tool for artists.
I think that AI will present a tremendous opportunity, mostly in that you can do things using AI that are not even possible. They're not conceivable or possible to do in any other way. And so I think that that's naturally how things will evolve.
AI was a key concern in last year's Hollywood strike, with actors fearing the technology would make theft of their likeness common or reduce available roles. Actors are also worried about entirely AI-generated actors, or metahumans. On Tuesday, the top award went to Dear Me by Giselle Tong, a poignant narrative exploring a young woman's struggle after her parents' divorce. Rizzante says the technology is likely here to stay.
There are, again, people that will always fight back, as always in any kind of transition, and people will be enthusiasts, but it's like a tsunami. You cannot stop it.
All right, an AI film festival. That sounds exciting.
Yeah,
On that note,
that
we're
was
going to
really
slip into
cool.
a break. Coming up on the other side, Vande Bharat sleek upgrade, the future of train travel. What does it feel like? What does it look like? That's coming up in a moment from now.
Hello, London. This is Mayor Weddle. Many of you are aware that we currently have a situation just north of town at the exit 49. I would like to say at this time that all of our first responders are safe, but I wanted to give everybody just a little update. Again, the subject or subjects have not been apprehended, but they are searching for them. Where they are currently, that is some rugged terrain and a lot of tree lines. If you guys know northern part of Laurel County, it's just is what it is. But I'm confident they will apprehend them. We are asking everybody in the city of limits to be vigilant and know what your surroundings. If you're home, keep your doors locked. I'm not asking anybody to panic. There is no immediate danger here in the city. But again, while these guys or this person is on the loose, we are asking everybody to be safe. If you're out and about, just be vigilant. They were I'm being told 7 people that was injured. Not all of them was gunshots. Some of them was due to an accident. There is no deceased at this time. No one was killed from this, thankfully. But we ask that you continue to pray. Watch my Facebook, watch the city Facebook. We'll update you as the night progresses. I told our men that I won't go home until they do.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Club, Monday morning, and we have to bring you now your person of interest, someone we found really special, we wanted to shine a light on.
Well, our person of interest today will have you We'll have you mesmerized by her melodious voice, while most of the Gen Z today is enchanted by the latest Bollywood foot tapper or a K-pop banger, as they say. Chandana, at the age of 19, has already composed over 1,000 kirtans. Her journey into the world of devotional music began in class 4, and by the age of 12, she had already published her debut book as well.
She's a bit of a child prodigy. You often hear of these, wonder kids. And if all of this wasn't impressive enough, she's also secured a place in the International Telugu Book of Records as the world's youngest Vagyakara. But what does that even mean? To take us into the world of Carnatic music, into what this means, what devotional music is. Early in the morning, we have with us Chandana. She's joining us right here on the show. She's harmonizing tradition with her vibrant, fresh spirit. Let's bring her on. Good morning, Chandana. Chandana, tell us, you have a talent in not just Carnatic, but also in devotional music. How did you get into devotional music? What's the story there? How old were you? Did someone inspire you? How did any of that happen?
Sure. So my mother is basically a musician from Tirupati, and she's an exponent in Annamacharya Sankirtanas. And she has taught me, she's my first guru in devotional music and Carnatic music. And she has helped me in my journey to improve in my Carnatic music.
That's nice. But Chandana, we hear that you're also studying law. How does law, music, singing bhajans, writing bhajans, how does all of that go along?
No, especially with law, I do not look at it in that aspect. But it's actually a trouble for me at times balancing my music journey and my law studies. But I have my parents who plan my schedule, and I have a timetable set for my music practice, which is called Riyaz also. So I have my time for reading my law subjects, and yeah, it's hard sometimes, but yeah, I look for the best.
Chandana, we're going to ask you to sing, all right? But we do want to ask you before that, tell us, anytime anyone from a very young age is practicing something, especially if their parents have told them, it's a bit of a journey. There's moments where you yourself feel a little distance from your craft. You feel like you don't want to go back to it. Did you ever have that?
So basically, my songs, I've written around 1,000+ songs. And basically, they are written in the language Telugu. So that's my mother tongue, and I am basically from Hyderabad. So I got to know a few things from few people, that languages like Telugu and regional languages would not exist tomorrow. Everyone would start speaking other languages, typically Western influenced. So I was told, don't do it in Telugu, or don't do devotional work, or don't do devotional writing. Rather, if you would prefer doing the others, it would actually bring you fame. So there was one period where I was very demotivated by my peers, and I was silent. I didn't know what to say. But again, after an year, I bounced back and I wrote my first book. This is my first book. And I actually feel happy now that I am strong enough to tell people that no matter what happens, I am very strong and independent, and I would continue to do my Lord's service through Sankirtanas.
That's quite nice to stay grounded and to stay rooted and take so much of pride in it. But Chandana, so much we've spoken about, we want to hear you sing also, and particularly the song that you wrote about a very unusual subject. Our research throws up that it's about Tirupati Laddu. Now, what is that about?
Tirupati Laddu, idi devuni laddu, adi ento arudaina amrutapu laddu. Tirupati Laddu, idi devuni laddu, adi ento arudaina amrutapu laddu. ఈ లడ్డును మించిన ప్రసాదము లేదు, తిరుమలేశుని మించిన దైవము లేదు తిరుపతి లడ్డు ఇది దేవుని లడ్డు అది ఎంతో అరుదైన అమృతపు లడ్డు తిరుపతి లడ్డు.
Wow, Chandana, is that literally a
Wow.
song about a laddu? What you've just sung meant? Because that was beautiful.
It means it is a rare laddu.
Okay.
ఈ లడ్డును మించిన ప్రసాదము లేదు, which means there is no prasadam like laddu. తిరుమలేశుని మించిన దైవము లేదు, which means there is no one above than the Tirumalesha, who is the Lord Venkateshwara.
I see. All that, chat about laddu was making me think of all the modaks that are doing the rounds in Mumbai these days. But Chandana, thanks so much for singing for us. But as we let you go, we have to sort of underline this fact that you hold the record for the youngest Vyangakara. What exactly is that? Take us through it and sort of reflect on your journey a little bit.
Vak means speech and writing. Gya means a song. And Vagyakara typically means a person who writes, composes and sings. And about my journey, it first started with Telugu Book of Records in the year 2017. And in 2020, I got Wonder Book of Records. And in 2024, I got India Book of Records.
It is always so cool, Chandana. Thank you for starting your day with us. It's always so cool to have, these young 10 on 10 achievers who are already, at this age achieving incredible things. Makes me feel like I should have been doing more when I was younger. But thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, let's take you now to what's next.
Get ready to revolutionize your train travel experience. Now, why are we saying that? Because imagine speeding through the countryside in style and comfort, saying hello to new and improved Vande Bharat train, which has become so popular with people. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a total makeover of this train with advanced tech, luxury features and top-notch safety as well. This train is set to change the game.
And the best part is that it's not just about luxury, it's also importantly about convenience. So you're going to have fresh meals, you're going to have dedicated dog boxes. They've actually thought of everything. So when can we hop on board? We've got the inside scoop with this next story. Take a look.
Get ready for a whole new way to travel by train. Speedier, smoother and sophisticated. Vande Bharat is getting an exciting upgrade, a new sleeper version. Since 2019, the Vande Bharat train has been a big hit with over 100 successful runs on different routes. Made by BEML India, this fresh edition is all set to roll out soon. The new sleeper version of the Vande Bharat is about to take train journeys up a notch. It's designed with the perfect mix of comfort, safety and the latest technology. With amazing features and luxury, this train is set to make your travel experience better than ever before.
I'm standing in the sleeper coach of Vande Bharat trains here in India. This is 1-2-tier coach where you are seeing this particular socket. This used to be there in the earlier version as well, but now you have got a C-type socket as well as the standard type. You are sharing the seat with your relatives, then you can tie this particular, this hanger to the particular seat so that safety can be ensured. Further, the night light is there, indirect light is there, and then the floor light is also there. This is the prototype of this particular train, which is all set to go for trials. Within 3 months, this all process will complete, and after that we can expect the commercial run of Vande Bharat sleeper version.
The new Vande Bharat experience, 16 coaches and 823 berths, speed 160 km per hour, advanced lighting and USB charging facility, dedicated dog box, fresh meal service, heating, ventilation and AC system in place, black box to capture real-time data, fire detection system with 15 minutes response time, Euro, Oriental and combination style toilets, biodigester tanks installed, 30 litres garbage compactor to maintain hygiene. It is about to set a new standard for train travel. It's not just about the basics anymore. This train is packed with luxury features that will make your journey feel extra special. Whether you are heading out on a long trip or just want top-notch safety and cleanliness, every detail has been thought through to give you an outstanding travel experience.
I'm joined by AGM of BML, Mr. Harish. What are the kind of features that you are going to give? If you can, just make me understand.
Yeah. So from this end we can go. So this is the boiler unit where we have the facility for the hot water and as well as the cold water. And the water which is supplied to the boiler, it is completely RO purified. You can see it here. The completely RO unit is installed over here. This is the deep freezer unit. You can feel this. This is up to minus 8 degree. The temperature is maintained here only separately for the desserts, ice creams or the candies or whatever it is. Garbage provider is also provided over here. So this works completely on the sensor based day. Whenever we want to use the paper cups, plates, water bottles, and everything can be put into this easily. And this is the hot box unit, or also referred as the oven. So whenever the food is required to heat the food, whatever is supplied at the designated stations, so that food will be heated over here and it will be supplied to all the passengers.
Sleeper coach of Vande Bharat. By when we can start the testing and by when the commercial run will start of this train?
The manufacturing is completed now, design is completed. A lot of care has been taken in designing this train, and as you have seen, many new features have been introduced. For example, in the old times you must have seen the chains which used to secure the berth. Now we have introduced this new mechanism, the climbing ladder. Lots of care has been taken. The material of manufacturing this is very different. It's a totally new material which we have brought, and the entire design of the coach, the car body, everything is totally new. We introduced new type of couplers in the Amrit Bharat trains, and basis the experience of Amrit Bharat, we have introduced those very same couplers in this train. The loco cab is very ergonomically designed. Lots of care is been taken.
The train is gearing up to start testing in just 10 days. After some intense trial to make sure it's ready for Indian Railways tracks and conditions, it will be all set to roll out for passengers. Keeping an eye out, it's expected to launch by the end of the year. With Akash, this is Arunima.
Okay, and now let's take you to the city of Mumbai. Sonal, you were talking a little bit about this a little while earlier. Do you want to tell our audiences about exactly what's happening there?
Yeah, we were talking about upgrade on the train, but this is the time when the entire Mumbai city is on upgrade. If you are in and around Mumbai right now, you will see the city completely transformed into a sea of vibrant colors, rhythmic drum beats that do not stop even to the wee hours of the morning, and joyous celebrations as Lord Ganesha, beg your pardon, or Bappa as many of us fondly call him here, makes a grand annual entrance into our homes. This is Ganesh Chaturthi, a spectacular Hindu festival that turns every street and home into a canvas of devotion and festivity.
Right. For 10 days, you have communities coming alive with intricate idol processions, heartfelt prayers, and the sweet aroma of traditional delicacies, which we haven't been able to forget through this whole show. Now, we'll just take you straight to a report about everything that's happening right now, specifically in Mumbai. Take a look.
This festival is observed with great fervor for 10 days during the Shukla Paksh of Bhadrapad month. It typically begins on the 4th day of Bhadrapad month, which usually occurs in August or September, and this year it falls on September 7th. On the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, also known as Vinayak Chaturthi or Ganeshotsav, devotees clean and decorate their homes with the idols of Lord Ganesha to perform Ganesha Puja. Devotees also offer various items to Lord Ganesha, including modaks, fruits, flowers, and coconut. Devotees believe that worshipping Lord Ganesha during this period brings wisdom and good fortune. After offering our prayers and taking the best care of Lord Ganesha for 10 days, the idol is taken for the Ganesh Visarjan with a heavy heart and teary eyes. This practice symbolizes the cycle of birth, growth, and dissolution. Thousands of devotees, including Bollywood celebrities, perform this ritual with utmost fervor. Shilpa Shetty's Ganesh Visarjan has always been soaked in religious fervor, complete with dhols, band baja and barat. Along with her, other celebrities like Ritesh Deshmukh, Salman Khan, Hrithik Roshan, Dia Mirza too celebrate the festivities and lead by example by bringing home eco-friendly Lord Ganesha idols. Mainly, it's celebrated in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. That's what Ganesh Chaturthi festival is all about. You tell us, how do you celebrate this festival?
Yeah, do tell us, how are you prepping up for Ganesh Chaturthi this season? We'll be happy to sort of take all those suggestions as well. But moving on and switching gears now, Skoda revealed the new Slavia Monte Carlo alongside the new Kushaq Sportline and the Slavia Sportline variants as well. The sporty Monte Carlo version of the sedan features several changes.
But how different is it from the Kushaq Monte Carlo? Overdrive, as usual, gets you the details on the design, the interior, the price, and of course the most important question, should you go for this car? Take a look.
Now the Slavia Monte Carlo gets that familiar treatment that you've seen with the Kushaq Monte Carlo from 2022. So what you do get is some bright colors. You also get all these gloss black surrounds. So it's around the grille, it's on the bumpers, and you have this quite sporty looking splitter too on the bumper. So now again that gloss black treatment extends to the wheels. Now you get 16-inch alloys. They're not a fancy design like how you get in the Kushaq. They're just what you get from the regular Kushaq, just painted in black. You get this Monte Carlo badging with a checkered flag. You also get this black treatment along the edge here. Now that black treatment also continues to these mirrors and also on the roof. Now there's more black treatment to the rear of the car as well. You get this quite aggressive spoiler. You get black Skoda badgings, black Slavia badging, and again quite an aggressive lip to the bumper. Now that black and red theme is again repeated on the inside. It's quite a sporty looking place. So you have red here on the dash face. There's more gloss black here. There's more gloss black on the seats, as you can see. There's also Monte Carlo badging on the seats, and even the screens, they're now red. And also, just to top everything off, the pedals are now aluminum finished. Now in terms of features, there's no real change, so you get what you usually expect from a Slavia. So you have these two screens with the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You have ventilated seats. You have powered adjustment for the seats, this leatherette upholstery, auto headlamps and wipers, and the 6 airbags and all the safety equipment that you already had with these Skoda cars. Now Skoda has also launched the Kushaq Sportline and the Slavia Sportline along with the Monte Carlo, and they're essentially the same thing. They have the same black treatment. You get more colors. It's not limited to just the bright options that the Monte Carlo has, but more importantly, it comes at an affordable price point. So it's based on the mid-spec variant. So yeah, while all the black is more or less the same, I'll show you how it is on the inside now. So you'll notice that it's a bit more simple inside here compared to the Monte Carlo. So you have this, just a silver finish here, not the gloss black. You have this fabric upholstery. It's got a nice design to it, but it's fabric. The seats aren't powered, they're manually adjustable. And yeah, you don't have a flip key, but you still get a 10.25 inch screen, but you get that old school analog instrument cluster, which to be honest, we're still great fans of. And there are a few other features that are missing as well. You don't get the ventilated seats, you don't get the auto headlamps and wipers among the more prominent ones. So yeah, this is what you get with the Sportline Kushaq, and very similar, and it's also very similar with the Slavia Sportline, which we'll quickly show you now. Now just like what I showed you with the Kushaq Sportline, this is also very similar. So you have that beige and gloss black theme, which is common to the lesser Slavia models, that's been repeated here. And again, this is based on a mid-spec variant, so you miss out on some equipment again. There's no leatherette upholstery. You have charging here as well, no ventilated seats. That 10.25 inch screen is still there. You still get push button start, which the Kushaq Sportline didn't have. And there's again this analog dial and no auto headlamps and wipers, although you still do get LED headlamps. Now these models remain mechanically unchanged, so you still get the 1.5 with 150 PS and 250 Nm, again paired with the 6-speed manual and the 7 DCT. Now the Sportline models, they're currently powered by the 1 litre. We don't have full clarity yet if the 1.5 is also available on it, but again the 1 litre makes 115 PS and 178 Nm, and pairs with that 6-speed torque converter or a 6-speed manual. Now prices for these new range of Skoda, Kushaq and Slavia models haven't been announced just yet, and if they are, we'll put a clip down below, but we expect these to be priced between rupees 17 to 19 lakh rupees, ex-showroom of course. And what do you think of these? Do these sporty looking cars, they make you feel these cars are more desirable?
All right, next we bring you a special segment on the financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with markets and how they're pegged to open this Monday morning. GIFT Nifty signals a weak start for Indian equities this week. Asian share markets opened lower today as well on concerns of a possible US economic downturn. The US equities closed weak as well on Friday on weak job data for August. US oil, meanwhile, falls to lowest levels since June of 2023.
And let's take you to sectors in specific. NBFCs have carved out a niche for themselves. This is despite the upper hand that banks have in funding costs. While signs of stress may be developing in unsecured retail lending, the secured lending piece is still going strong. NBFCs with a strong percentage have an edge. This is thanks to a relatively better access to funds and funding cost advantage. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about India's NBFC sector and, of course, various other actionable insights on markets. It's the premier destination for all investing views and financial insights that you're ever going to need. Brought to you by Money Control.
And in another programming note, now visit news18.com for all the latest and breaking news with up-to-date coverage on India, world, business, entertainment and cricket. News18.com, India's leading news website, combines accurate reporting with in-depth analysis, ensuring the readers stay informed on critical developments.
And with that, we bring our show to a close. We hope you feel that the topics we looked at this morning were important, were inspiring. They left you uplifted, and most importantly, they left you proactive about the kind of change you can make. With that, we're going to draw our show to a close though. Thank you for watching. This is The Breakfast Club.
Sir?
London. This is Mayor Weddle. Many of you are aware that we currently have a situation just north of town at the exit 49. I would like to say at this time that all of our first responders are safe, but I wanted to give everybody just a little update. Again, the subject or subjects have not been apprehended, but they are searching for them. Where they are currently, that is some rugged terrain and a lot of tree lines. If you guys know northern part of Laurel County, it's just is what it is. But I'm confident they will apprehend them. We are asking everybody in the city of limits to be vigilant and know what your surroundings. If you're home, keep your doors locked. I'm not asking anybody to panic. There is no immediate danger here in the city. But again, while these guys or this person is on the loose, we are asking everybody to be safe. If you're out and about, just be vigilant. There were I'm being told 7 people that was injured. Not all of them was gunshots. Some of them was due to an accident. There is no deceased at this time. No one was killed from this, thankfully. But we ask that you continue to pray. Watch my Facebook, watch the city Facebook. We'll update you as the night progresses. I told our men that I won't go home until they do.
Good morning viewers, hello and welcome to the Morning News Show where we bring you the latest headlines and insightful stories to kickstart your day. I'm Koina Sharma and you are watching CNN News 18. First up, on top of this bulletin, we're tracking some updates on Rahul Gandhi's US visit, which has sparked yet another controversy and debate as the Lok Sabha leader of opposition and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi said that BJP and RSS idea of women is to restrict them to home and kitchen and cook food. While we believe that women should aspire and lead us in every sector, he further said that the RSS believes that India is one idea and we believe that India is a multiplicity of ideas. This is the fight, and the fight was crystallized in the elections when millions of people in India clearly understood that the Prime Minister of India was actually attacking the Constitution of India. Let's hear out what Rahul Gandhi had to say.
The RSS believes that India is one idea. And we believe that India is a multiplicity of ideas. We believe that everybody should be allowed to participate. We believe that everybody should be allowed to dream. Everybody should be given space, regardless of their caste, language, religion, tradition, history. This is the fight. And the fight was crystallized in the election. When millions of people in India clearly understood that the Prime Minister of India is attacking the Constitution of India.
Well, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Pallavi. A very good morning, Pallavi. Sharp words of criticism coming in from the leader of opposition, and how does his vision of multiplicity of ideas in India counter the RSS singular narrative when especially he's pointing it out time and again on the international platforms?
See, and the fact that he's doing it on an international platform is what really stokes the controversy, and the BJP always makes this a big issue. Look, the Prime Minister is expected to go to America in the third week of September. And, you know, this is exactly the point which the BJP will raise, that when there's a high-profile visit of the Prime Minister of the country, you're a LOP now, and when you go and speak there, you also speak on behalf of the country. Should you be attacking your Prime Minister? Because you just embolden the opponents of the country. But very quickly to wrap up, what the Rahul Gandhi said is again nothing new. Whenever he goes abroad and even over back home in India, he makes the same points. The divisive mentality of the RSS, the fact that the BJP is run by the RSS, RSS is anti-women, RSS is also anti the whole idea of India. And in fact, he talks about many universities where the vice chancellors actually are from the RSS so that ideological imprint comes on our education system. But beyond that, he also started explaining his Bharat Jodo Yatra. He spoke about the fact that as a LOP, his duty is also to ensure that love, humanity, respect are the three cardinal of Indian politics. All three, according to him, has been dissected by the BJP. And it is during the elections, he talks about the electoral results. He said that the fear that the people had of the PM and the BJP has eroded. And he said that the Prime Minister is the one who doesn't respect the Constitution. And I would go during my election campaigns with a copy of the Constitution. And people did agree with me that the BJP is actually attacking the India's Constitution.
Right, indeed, Pallavi. Rahul Gandhi has been training guns at the centre, especially on the international grounds. But one of the most critical attacks that came to foray was the attack by the Prime Minister on Constitution. How is this going to be perceived in the political arena, especially in India?
Well, I mean, the BJP has never accepted this argument of Rahul Gandhi that the BJP has attacked the idea of the Constitution. Every time Rahul Gandhi, the Congress talk about it, and remember that most of the leaders of the India bloc took oath as a Lok Sabha MP with a copy of the Samvidhan or the Constitution in their hand. Well, the BJP is counter to that is you just have to step back in history. Who was the one who diluted and attacked the Constitution during emergency? Why is it that emergency mindset is something which the Congress party can never get over? So every time we see arguments, counter arguments taking place in, say, an India bloc rule state like West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka or Telangana, BJP hits back at the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi says, you have to look at history. It is the Congress and not the BJP which has attacked the Constitution. And in fact, the BJP has tried to undo the wrongs which were done by the Congress then.
Right, Pallavi, I'll request you to stay with us on broadcast as we will take our viewers through the statements that the leader of opposition had to say, especially pertinent to the women.
By the way, this is part of the ideological fight between the BJP and us, right? The BJP and the RSS believe that women should be restricted to a particular role. They should stay at home, they should cook the food, they should not talk too much, right? And we believe that women should be allowed to aspire to whatever they want to do.
Well, Pallavi continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, Rahul Gandhi has asserted that BJP and RSS have a restrictive view of women's role in the entire society. But contrary to that, how is Congress trying to mobilize this sentiment into a broader movement, especially here in India?
No, we've seen the scheme of the government as far as women empowerment is concerned. We are also talking in the context of the RG Kaur rape case which is taking place in West Bengal and how the BJP is actually making this a big issue. What is it that the Congress party is trying to do? What is it that the Rahul Gandhi is trying to do? He's trying to say that the BJP, which is backed by the RSS mentality, it has scant regard for women. Unnao, Hathras, of course, he doesn't mention that. But what he goes on to say that one can understand why the BJP has scant regard for women because they are driven by an RSS ideology. And the RSS ideology believes that women must be restricted to the kitchen and they should not have in real sense what the power of a woman is concerned.
Right, Pallavi, help us also understand how are we garnering the reactions coming in from the centre or any of the, leaders, political leaders from RSS or BJP, especially.
We'll have to wait to see, Kuhina, what response really comes in for the RSS and BJP. Right. But the RSS has always had a very uneasy relationship with Rahul Gandhi. In fact, even as we speak, there's a defamation case which has been pending against Rahul Gandhi because he had said that the RSS's divisive mentality which had led to the assassination of Mahatma. And we know what Rahul Gandhi has to keep on going to court and, he's facing these kind of allegations. Well, RSS has always made it clear that, we are the ones who are the custodians of India's culture. And it is absolutely wrong to say that we are anti-women because many of our programs are suited to women and many of our programs is for actually the upliftment. And the BJP has also made the point that, Nari Shakti, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, all of these have been our schemes. So Rahul Gandhi is always trashed. What his comments he makes abroad are always rejected by the BJP.
Right, Pallavi, I'll request you to stay with us on the broadcast as we are getting another breaking input which is also relevant to Rahul Gandhi's visit to US and the kind of statements that he's made there. Now this time Rahul Gandhi has said that Devta in India actually means a person whose internal feelings are exactly the same as external expressions, meaning he's a completely transparent being. It does not mean he's God. If a person tells me everything he believes or thinks and expresses it openly, that's the definition of Devta. What's interesting about our politics is how do you suppress your own ideas, how do you suppress your own fears, greed or ambitions, and observe other people's fears and ambitions. So these are the critical statements that are coming in from Rahul Gandhi, and Pallavi continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, help us understand. Rahul Gandhi is defining Devta as someone who is transparent and authentic. Now, can politicians and devtas in today's pragmatic politics continue to take on with this kind of definition of being or redefinition of being a devta?
But I think, Kuhina, the bigger question which also needs to be asked is his comments of Devta. Is it likely to stoke controversy? I would say very much yes. Rahul Gandhi's views on religion, his views on, what he used to call the emotion, of the Prime Minister. Remember, when he raised this issue of Abhay Mudra, he does refer to that in this Dallas speech also that he takes in America. In Lok Sabha as his LOP, as the first time when he spoke about Abhay Mudra, of Shivji and all of that. His views on religion has always stoked a lot of controversy, and the BJP has always accused him of being a Chunavi Hindu. Only when there's elections round the corner does he show that he's Hindu. Otherwise, they have scant regard for Hindu religion. What is it that Rahul Gandhi is trying to say? He said Devta, and this is again controversial. He says Devta does not mean God or a deity. What Devta really means is that your inner feeling and your external expressions. I think in some way he's taking a dig at the Prime Minister and the BJP when he says that this is exactly what politics has been reduced to. He's accused the BJP and the Prime Minister of demeaning the idea of religion by not really understanding what Hindutva is all about. Hindutva, according to Rahul Gandhi, is about, respect, about humanity. And he sees, and his claim is that the BJP is so obsessed with religion and dividing people along religious lines that these cardinal principles which are enshrined in our Hindu scriptures have been forgotten by the BJP.
Right, Pallavi, with the centre's obsession with religion and Rahul Gandhi's redefinition of Devta, challenging traditional notions of divinity, will this kind of a statement resonate well with the younger Indians who are increasingly questioning established religious norms already?
I don't think it is correct to say that the Indians are, the younger ones are questioning the religious established norms. I think we have to understand the politics of Rahul Gandhi behind why he's saying this. His entire purpose and intention is to play down the BJP and prick holes into the Hindutva agenda. Remember, BJP's power comes from that. There is a core vote bank of the BJP, and Rahul Gandhi is buoyed by the win of, say, the Samajwadi Party candidate from Ayodhya, from Faizabad. The Ram Mandir was one of the biggest issues which was used by the BJP in the last Lok Sabha elections, and constantly the India bloc tom-toms the win in Faizabad as trying to show a mirror to the BJP. What Rahul Gandhi is trying to say is that the religion, as we all know, the Hindu scriptures, as we all know, nowhere differentiates among people as far as religion lines or caste community lines. But the BJP is dividing people. His appeal to young India, that's what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do, to reach out to the youth of India and abroad by making 2 points. One, how don't vote for a party or a government which is dividing you on religious lines because they don't want to understand what Hindutva is all about. And second, he talks about the caste census. He talks about that how there should be equal opportunities for all, and that's the reason why there's a need for a caste census.
Right, Pallavi, but does this also reflect any kind of a shift towards a more human-centric approach to religion in Indian politics, especially with Congress's policies also being highlighted with these kind of statements coming in?
Well, I mean, I think what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do, again, to repeat my point, is to make the larger point that the BJP, and he's talking about this, he's talking about that people say, what is my role as an LOP? My role and responsibility as an LOP is to ensure that there is humanity, there is humility, there is equality among the people, and we must respect each other no matter which religion or caste you belong to. He accuses the BJP of doing just the contrary to this. And that is where I think it stokes an entire controversy. I think the day has just begun. We'll have to wait to see what kind of responses really starts coming in from the RSS and also from the BJP.
Right, Pallavi. Thank you so much for bringing in all those details. We'll continue to track the story as the day progresses and we get more reactions to the sharp criticism of the leader of opposition on international grounds. But now we're cutting across to another breaking input. But this one we're getting in from the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court is all set and scheduled to hear the case related to the rape and murder at the Arjikar Medical Hospital and College today. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time, where CBI is all set to submit the letter to Supreme Court on Arjikar Medical College rape and murder case as protests escalate across Kolkata demanding justice. Joining us on the broadcast is our legal correspondent Ananya. A very good morning, Ananya. Take us through all the details, especially with the expectations of the letter that needs to be submitted by the CBI to Supreme Court after almost 3 to 4 weeks of taking over the investigation from the state police.
Well, definitely. First of all, for the benefit of our viewers, it's almost a month after that heinous incident took place, in fact, at the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, and very clearly and categorically the Central Bureau of Investigation has already submitted a letter informing, in fact, the Supreme Court that the ACGM Salda had, in fact, allowed for the polygraph test to be conducted on various accused persons, and those polygraph tests has already taken place. The status report is also likely to be filed by both the Central Bureau of Investigation with regards to the investigation that is being carried out by it with regards to the rape and murder of the 31-year-old medico there at, in fact, the Arjikar Medical College, while the Kolkata police is to give, in fact, their report with a status report with regards to the investigation that they have carried out with regards to the incident of vandalism that had happened on the intervening night of 14th and 15th of August. And very clearly and categorically remember that on the last occasion when the matter was listed on the 5th of September, the bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, also comprising Justice J.B. Pardewala and Manoj Mishra, were did not assemble since the Chief Justice of India was not well, and hence the hearing would take place now today, and a fresh status report would be filed, in fact, by the CBI. Remember that it is almost not even almost, it's a month after that heinous crime had taken place at the 9th of August 2024 at the Arjikar Medical College that the Supreme Court is going to hear this particular matter. Remember, the doctors are still protesting, and on the last occasion also when the matter was heard by the Supreme Court, it had urged, in fact, the doctors to actually go back since they are the healers. Their profession is something that demands them to be on their duty so that people who are the general people do not suffer, and that was, in fact, the approach of the Supreme Court as well, and that's the reason why, in fact, the Supreme Court had taken a suo motu cognizance in this particular matter. When it had taken a suo motu cognizance, it has mentioned in the first hearing, it said that it is not only the case of a rape and murder of a medical a doctor at the Arjikar Medical College, but it raises questions on women and the, how women are being treated at their own workplaces, and that is something that gave the way for the Supreme Court to actually initiate a suo motu writ petition in this particular case. And today the CBI and the Kolkata police would be submitting their own status reports, and what happens next is something that we'll have to wait and watch for. If you remember, on the last occasion as well, in fact, the Supreme Court has criticized the West Bengal government for the delays in the first information report being registered, and in fact how the investigation had proceeded. In fact, Justice Manoj Mishra and Justice J.B. Pardewala as far as going to say that they've not seen it in their 20 to 25 years of judicial career, such a shoddy investigation and the following of the Criminal Procedure Code.
Right, Ananya, thank you so much for bringing all those details. Well, it will be interesting to watch what the Supreme Court has to say, especially after getting the CBI report. But now we're shifting our focus to another breaking input, which is relevant to the same Arjikar rape and murder case. Now, CPIM is all set to hold a massive protest rally from College Square to Lal Bazaar at 3 p.m. over the Arjikar doctor rape and murder case. These are the latest inputs we're tracking from the ground. Protests and strikes continue as now CPIM is all set to hold a massive protest rally from College Square to Lal Bazaar at 3 p.m. over the Arjikar doctor rape and murder case. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Kamalika. Very good morning, Kamalika. What are the main demands of the CPIM protest rally regarding the entire Arjikar doctor rape and murder case? See, let me tell you that CPIM has been on roads and left has been on road regarding Arjikar issue. And today also they have planned from 3 p.m. they will be marching towards Lal Bazar, and their main focus is also the resignation of police commissioner. But let me show you, I am in Arjikar. The Supreme Court hearing will start from some hours from now. And see, this is the slogan which they have put, the students have put, Obicharer Act Mas Act Din, which means that it is injustice of 1 month. Today is 1 month, so they are remembering it, that it is a month of injustice which has taken place. And as you can see that Abhaya's total here, the justice for our rights and all these things with flowers and everything is written, and you see that the justice statue is also there. So basically everybody here also today, all through the night, there has been huge protest all over Bengal. The singers, the painters, the lawyers, the rickshaw pullers, everybody was on road. So definitely all through the night there has been protest, a night before Supreme Court hearing, and today from the morning also we are expecting some more processions, rallies, protests. Now along with that, very important point is that the governor of West Bengal has also sent a letter to Mamata Banerjee seeking that there should be, she should call an urgent cabinet meeting. Today anyway there is an administrative meeting and Mamata Banerjee will visit her with her cabinet. And also along with that, the governor has also written in that letter that he wants a replacement of the police commissioner of Kolkata. So that is another important point. As far as Trinamool Congress inside story is concerned, we know Jahar Sarkar has expressed his desire to resign from Rajya Sabha seat yesterday. Today in the morning, Shukhendu Shekhar Roy also early in the morning, we have seen him tweeting on justice. So definitely it is from outside, the people are angry, people are on roads. At the same time, there are voices inside the party too. Today, let me also inform you all that ABVP has also a protest in the evening in Kolkata.
Right, Kamalika, I'll request you to stay with us on the broadcast as we're tracking some more updates on this. Now, Kolkata's unfinished quest for justice, a month of protests, promises and unanswered questions. Well, it's been a month of 30 days since a trainee doctor was brutally raped and murdered at the Arjikar hospital in Kolkata. Now, the Supreme Court will hear the suo motu petition in the matter today, where a 3-judge bench of the top court, led by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, and also comprising Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra, will hear the entire matter. Yesterday, doctors, civil society members and political parties took to the streets demanding justice. Abhaya's parents also joined the movement, reiterating the fact that their claim that the police had destroyed key evidences. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is set to hold an administrative meeting today. Top Raj Bhavan sources have also told CNN News 18 that the governor has asked the CM to call an emergency cabinet meeting, and also has directed to replace police commissioner. Now, as we examine the progress and pitfalls in the pursuit of justice for the slain trainee doctor, let's watch out more for this.
This is absolutely, this is jurisdiction of Honorable Supreme Court. We just want from CBI that CBI must make it very clear that in the Arjikar case, whether that Sanjay Rai, the only one who has been arrested, and that too arrested by Kolkata police, whether this Sanjay Rai, he is alone or not, that should be cleared by CBI. If not, then who are the other persons?
जवाहर सरकार किस लिए रिजाइन दिए है वो तो अपने लेटर में उन्होंने व्यक्त किया है, लेकिन ये सही है कि ममता बनर्जी की पावर में आने के पहले ममता बनर्जी, बाहर के आने के बाद की ममता बनर्जी, इसमें जमीन और आसमान का डिफरेंसेस है। और वो शायद दूर से देख रहे थे, राजनीति में तो थे नहीं जवाहर सरकार जी। जब आए तब उनको पता चला कि ममता बनर्जी तो अभी करप्ट ममता बनर्जी बन चुकी है, करप्शन की रानी बन चुकी है। तो पहले से वो अनसेटिस्फाइड थे, हम दोनों एक ही कमेटी में थे। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि हमारी जो डिमांड है कि ममता बनर्जी कब छोड़ेगी, कब शी शुड रिजाइन, ये हमारा पहले से मांग रहा, और व्हेन इज शी गोइंग टू गिव द रेजिग्नेशन.
एक तरफ मैंने डॉक्टर्स के डिमांड का बस सपोर्ट किया है, एक तरफ मैंने ममता जी के बारे में कहा कि ममता जी ने जो बिल लेकर आई हैं वो वाकई ऐतिहासिक है, बहुत ज़बरदस्त है, और इसमें इस मामले में किसी मुख्यमंत्री को, चीफ मिनिस्टर को दोषी ठहराना ये बिल्कुल वाजिब नहीं होगा, क्योंकि एक मुख्यमंत्री हो या प्रधानमंत्री हो, सारे एक एक गली एक एक शहर हर तरफ नहीं देख रहे, उनकी निगरानी होती है, वो डिपार्टमेंटलाइज्ड होता है, कंपार्टमेंटलाइज होता है. जो इशू है वो बहुत जघन्य है, नीचता का परिणाम है, बहुत घिनौना हुआ है.
Well, Kamalika continues to stay with us on broadcast, and she's getting us ground reports from outside, live ground reports from outside Arjikar Hospital. Kamalika, it is a very crucial day. After almost 3 weeks of investigation, CBI is all set to submit the status report regarding the polygraph tests of the accused also. Now, how significant will be this letter to the Supreme Court, and how will it impact the ongoing investigations?
See, today it is very important, and all the eyes nationally, people, everybody is looking on towards the Supreme Court. And also we know that the doctors, the parents, we know yesterday the parents themselves have visited 3 protest rallies, and they have said that what they demand justice. They don't want justice, they demand justice. So that is, this aggression is increasing, and they have also mentioned yesterday that they still believe that the evidence has been destroyed by Kolkata police, and they want that people should be with them. So it is very important as far as the victim's family is concerned. It is very important for the junior doctors who are almost now 1 month sitting in protest, and also they have not joined work. So that is also affected the medical system. After today's Supreme Court hearing, what steps the doctors take, that is very important. That is one thing. Another thing is there has been tremendous protest all over. So what after, everybody will look into Supreme Court. Today also there are lined up protests there, and we can see, again would like to show, this is injustice of 1 month. The slogan that has been put by the students in the morning, that today is injustice of 1 month. And this is the place where you can see that Abhaya's photo is there, and we want justice is there, flowers are there. Entire night the students were awake seeking justice. So definitely all the eyes are in Supreme Court, the parents looking at the Supreme Court, the junior doctors, even the politicians definitely, because we see that opposition definitely continuing with dharna and processions. For Trinamool Congress government also, today is a very vital day. They'll also see what comes up from the Supreme Court, and Mamata Banerjee has a very crucial administrative meeting today at 1 p.m.
Right, Kamalika. Well, you rightly pointed it out. It's been a very long month of outrage and anguish. Well, that was Kamalika Sen-Gupta recapping the developments and getting us the live inputs and demands for justice in this entire case. Now, CNN News 18 spoke exclusively to Jawahar Sircar about this decision to resign from the parliament. This is what he had to say. Let's listen in.
What led you to, take such a step, letter to Mamata Banerjee?
There had to be some way of drawing her attention, and I chose a very unusual path. And I've been waiting for a month, sending messages to people, asking for stern action, because people here are very impatient about the pace of action. There are distinct issues. The CBI, for instance, is looking after the case. So we're not talking about the case. But then there are administrative actions within the college that should have been taken, if for nothing else, for giving people the confidence and the impression that things are being done. Now, the principal was sort of let loose for about and suspended only after he was arrested. I am completely against that particular phase. So there are similar issues on which I had difference of opinion, and I had hoped that they would listen, because I have some experience in administration. But when I found that things were not happening, I had to sort of draw their attention and say that this has to be done. That's it.
And you have also mentioned that it started off from the corruption and the way you see the Trinamool councillors also amazed. You are amazed to see the lifestyle. What's your take on that, sir?
No, no. You see, the two are intricately connected. Abhaya is a horror story, and there is a lot of protest against the way it has been handled. But a movement of the people, reasonably spontaneous, cannot be sustained for a month unless there is a sustained disgust.
Well, we are unleashing the power of India's leading ladies. Join us for News 18 She Shakti Season 2 on 16th of September as we celebrate the incredible women who are making India proud on the global stage. Don't miss the chance to honor our nation's leading ladies. With that, we are slipping into a very short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Well, now we're tracking some updates from Uttar Pradesh on Mangesh Yadav encounter, because of which the political clash between the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and SP Supremo Akhilesh Yadav over the Mangesh Yadav encounter case now continues. Akhilesh Yadav has now taken to social media platform X and criticized CM Yogi by questioning the credibility of a leader whose own party does not heed his words. Earlier, CM Yogi criticized the Samajwadi Party, alleging that its members are linked to criminal activities and questioning their objections to encounters. Meanwhile, Vipin Singh, an accused in the Sultanpur robbery case, remains in police custody as the UPSTF and local police seek crucial information. Now, Akhilesh Yadav has also accused the police of intentionally killing Mangesh Yadav, claiming bias due to his last name.
आप मुझे बताओ, जो डकैत पुलिस मुठभेड़ में मारा गया, जो मारा गया, अगर वह डकैत जैसे हथियारों का प्रदर्शन करते हुए डकैती डाल रहा है, वहां ग्राहक भी बैठे हैं, ग्राहकों को खड़ा करके एक तरफ करके अगर गोली मार देता तो क्या उनकी जान को ये समाजवादी पार्टी वापस कर पाती क्या? अगर डकैत हत्या करके भाग गया और पुलिस के पास सुराग नहीं मिलती तो यही लोग बोलते, देखिए साफ अराजकता है। और अगर पुलिस ने पकड़ लिया, कार्रवाई कर दी और फिर मुठभेड़ में, आपसी मुठभेड़ में डकैत मारा जा रहा है, तो समाजवादी पार्टी को बुरा लग रहा है, कह रहे साहब ये नहीं होना चाहिए था।
Well, this breaking input is also relevant to the encounter case that we've been just tracking inputs on now. After Akhilesh, Mayawati has also tweeted on Mangesh Yadav encounter and said that BJP and SP are now blaming each other for the law and order situation and are doing politics. Now, law and order situation was many times worse in the SP government. SP goons and mafia used to rob and beat up Dalits and other backward classes. Now, under BSP government, justice was given to the people without any discrimination on the basis of caste and religion. There were no fake encounters, etc. Therefore, everyone should be cautious of the drama of a rule of law by the BJP and SP. So these are the latest inputs that we've been tracking from the ground, where after Akhilesh Yadav, now Mayawati has also taken a dig. But this time she has been also pointing out that SP's regime of rule in the entire state was also no different, with justice was given to people without any discrimination on the basis of caste and religion. And she's also pointed out that there were no fake encounters that were happening before all of these governments. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Amit Singh from News 18. Amit ji, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए और CNN News 18 के साथ जुड़ने के लिए। ऐसी क्या स्पेसिफिक एलिगेशंस हैं जो अखिलेश यादव और मायावती टाइम एंड अगेन सीएम योगी आदित्यनाथ के अगेंस्ट और उनकी सरकार के अगेंस्ट स्पेशली मंगेश यादव इनकाउंटर में उठा रही हैं?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो ये समझने की जरूरत है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में 10 विधानसभा चुनावों पर जो है बाइपोल इलेक्शन होना है। उसके मद्देनजर मंगेश यादव के इनकाउंटर पे लगातार पॉलिटिकल बयानबाजी हो रही है, चाहे वो अखिलेश यादव हो, चाहे वो मायावती हो। आज सुबह मायावती ने सोशल मीडिया एक्स पर उन्होंने पोस्ट लिख दिया सीधे सीधे कि सबसे बेहतर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन उन्हीं की सरकार में थी, यानी बीएसपी की सरकार में थी। और इसके अलावा अगर हम बात करें तो लगातार अखिलेश यादव जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी के सुप्रीमो हैं, उनके द्वारा कहा जा रहा है कि मंगेश यादव को इनकाउंटर टू डेथ इसलिए किया गया क्योंकि वो यादव कम्युनिटी से आता है। तो वहीं दूसरी तरफ कल हमने देखा कि किस तरीके से एक पब्लिक मीटिंग में सीएम योगी आदित्यनाथ ने साफ साफ लफ्जों में कहा कि जिसने रॉबरी की, जिसने डकैती डाली, उसके हाथों में पिस्तौल था, अवैध तमंचे थे। तो जाहिर तौर पे जब वो रॉबरी कर रहा था ज्वेलरी शॉप में, उस दौरान वहां पर ग्राहक भी मौजूद थे, वहां पर लगातार वो सोने चांदी के सामान खरीद रहे थे। अगर वहां पर वो गोली चला देता, कोई मिसहैपनिंग हो जाती, तब किससे सवाल पूछा जाता। और जब पुलिस पकड़ लेती है इन बदमाशों को, इनकाउंटर करती है, तो विपक्षी पार्टी और खासतौर से उन्होंने समाजवादी पार्टी को टारगेट किया मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने, और उन्होंने कहा कि जितने भी गूंस हैं, जितने भी बदमाश हैं, वो सब कहीं ना कहीं एसोसिएटेड रहे हैं समाजवादी पार्टी से, और यही वजह है कि ये लोग इनकाउंटर को क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं, सवाल उठा रहे हैं। तो लगातार पॉलिटिकल वॉर जो है मंगेश यादव मर्डर इनकाउंटर केस में लगातार यहाँ पर चल रहा है। दूसरी तरफ अगर बात करें यूपी पुलिस की, अगर हम बात करें तो यूपी पुलिस ने जो दूसरा आरोपी है विपिन सिंह, उसका रिमांड ले लिया है, उससे पूछताछ लगातार कर रही है। आज दूसरा दिन है जी।
जी अमित सिंह जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हम तक ये जानकारी लाने के लिए। Well, that was Amit Singh bringing us live inputs on the political fiasco that has now erupted once again over the encounter of this culprit. But now we're shifting our focus to another breaking input. This one is on an attempt was made to derail the Kalindi Express heading towards Bhiwani from Prayagraj by placing an LPG cylinder on the tracks in Kanpur. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground, where a sinister attempt to sabotage the Kalindi Express was foiled after an LPG cylinder was actually discovered on the tracks in the Shivrajpur area, sparking concerns about the railway safety and potential terrorist activity also. So these are the latest inputs that we've been tracking from the ground. An attempt was made to derail the Kalindi Express heading towards Bhiwani from Prayagraj. Now let's hear out what the ACP of the region had to say.
रेलवे की अथॉरिटीज़ के द्वारा 8:30 बजे के आसपास जो है वो सूचित किया गया कि एक ट्रेन जो प्रयागराज से भिवानी की तरफ जाती है और इस रूट से जो है वो गुजर रही थी। तभी ड्राइवर को जो है वो ट्रैक पे एक सिलेंडर दिखा और उसने इमरजेंसी ब्रेक लगाया, उससे संभवतः टकरा करके सिलेंडर जो है वो साइड में गिर गया और इसके बाद जो है वो ट्रेन काफ़ी देर तक रुकी रही। फिर आरपीएफ के लोग आए, उन्होंने जो है अपना मौका मुआयना किया और लोकल पुलिस को सूचित किया। सभी सीनियर ऑफिसर्स, फोरेंसिक की टीम यहाँ पे मौजूद है। हम लोग जो है वो घटनास्थल को जरा समझ रहे हैं, बारीकी से देख रहे हैं। एक सिलेंडर डैमेज पोजीशन में मिला है और कुछ और मटेरियल भी, ऑब्जेक्शनेबल मटेरियल मिला है। सभी की जो है समीक्षा की जा रही है।
Well, these are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground, where a sinister attempt to sabotage the Kalindi Express was foiled after an LPG cylinder was actually discovered on the tracks in the Shivrajpur area. Now, all of this incident that has unfolded and foiled in the morning, in the wee hours of the day, has sparked another concern about the railway safety and potential terror activity. Now, the incident has also raised alarm bells within the railway and security establishments as it comes close on the heels of a similar attempt to derail a train in the region, which happened almost a month ago. Now, the railway police have also launched an investigation into the entire matter, as we rightly heard from the ACP of the region right now on our TV screens, that they are looking into the incident and are scanning all the CCTV footages that are available nearby to identify the culprits. Now, what was the reason for the culprits to be placing that LPG cylinder, and what is the larger conspiracy behind it? The police have been tracking that on the ground, and the investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, railway officials have also assured all of the passengers of enhanced security measures, and they have included increased patrolling and monitoring of the tracks. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Akash. A very good morning, Akash. Well, this was a closed shift for Kalindi Express. What more details do we have, and has the police been able to identify the culprits so far?
No. So basically, first of all, this incident happened near Kanpur of the Uttar Pradesh, where Kalindi Express was passing by, and we have been told that while the train was passing by, the loco pilot reported that a train dashed into one LPG cylinder that was possibly kept on the track. And after that, when he applied emergency brake, train got halted. And after that, he, checked the premise, and it was found that one LPG cylinder was very much there in the close proximity of that particular track. And not just that LPG cylinder, but some other substances, including one petrol bottle and other substances were also found. We have been told that one FIR has been registered in this case, and not just FIR, but forensic teams. And in fact, a team from UPATS has also reached the particular spot. Investigation is on, and Kuhina, you see, this is important at a time when we have seen a number of derailments in the Indian Railways, at a time when we have seen a number of incidents where, in fact, Railways has suggested that there is a conspiracy that is going on to defame Indian Railways. Why investigation is happening, and we'll come to know as to what is the truth in the matter.
Right, Akash. Thank you so much for bringing in all those details. Well, now joining us on the broadcast is Amit Ganju live from the spot. A very good morning, Amitji. What measures are being taken by railway authorities to enhance the security and prevent such incidents in the future? Because as a traveller, it indeed is a very scary situation to understand that the railway or the train that I am travelling on might have some kind of a conspiracy getting unfolded on the track itself.
I would like to tell you from last month there has been 3 incidents. One was in Sabarmati Express, second was in Farokhabad, and third one is in the same place where we and the entire team is standing out. I would request my cameraman to show something. There is a team, the crime branch team is here, ATS team is there, investigating teams are here, RPF team is there. They are going to find it. What was the reason? Who the people were? Whether some suspected people, whether it's from any organization. It's a matter of some investigation which gets followed. Sir, आप लोग जांच कर रहे हैं कि नहीं अभी?
जांच चल रही है। लोग सब बहुत एजेंसियां हैं, सब जांच
कर रहे हैं। सर, आपकी टीम कहाँ से आई है सर? आप लोग आरपीएफ से हैं सर?
crime.
Sir, I would like to tell the people of all from the crime branch, they are not supposed to give any bite unless until they have taken permission from the seniors who are there in RPF and what has to supposed to be. And I would like request my cameraman to move the camera towards the spot where one can see there is a place where you can see this is dragged on a part of a cylinder which was being placed on the same place. I would like to request my cameraman to explain. This was the place where exactly cylinder was being placed, and there is a mark over here. And apart from it, there, if we talk about some suspected things which were been there, the bottles were here. There were 3 bottles, 1 petrol bottle. We are not supposed to cross this line because there's written the crime scene. We are not supposed to enter in the subject. There was 2 bottles were there, 3 wires were there, and apart from it, there is still a bag lying here on the same place. One can read it. There's a crime kit in which all the things were being placed out. Crime kit, Jhola, Thana, Shivrajpur, Kanpur. Outer. This is the bag in which all they had kept all the things. Now it is in the custody of a police, and police is now investigating out. Ji.
Right, Amitji, like you are already tracking the updates from the ground, help us understand what is the police and the railway authorities actually doing to carry on with the investigation on the ground, and what are the updates so far in the entire case?
That's a very important question which you are asking, ma'am. The team has now spread an entire this locality of 7 kilometers. Crime branch, RPF, even ATS team. What sources have disclosed it to our News 18. The entire team is now disclosed out. 5 SHOs are being here in the radius of 7.5 kilometers. They are spreading out. They are trying to know what exactly has taken place. Who the suspected are? The 2 suspected which are in the custody of police. They are not disclosing their name. Earlier they were saying their name is Suresh Chand, then it was Ibrahim, then it turned towards Guddu, and what the exact name is, they are not disclosing their identity, and that is a main task of police to know who they 2 were. What were they doing in the night there where there is no population or no residential part of houses over in this locality. And apart from it, crime branch, ATS, STF, RPF, GRP, local police is now taking care of each and every part of it, because it is a second incident in the radius of 30 kilometers. Early in 17th of that last month, there was incident or accident or any conspiracy. Now it is under investigation, so we are not supposed to say what was it. But in 30 kilometers, there is a second incident. How LPG cylinders came there? This was a passage. I would like to request my camera. This was a passage from where the police is now investigating. They had entered from the same track, and they had brought the cylinders, and it was being placed on the same part and was being placed in there. Now, how the cylinder has been there, how many people are there, what was their plan, what was the plan of action, who has taken care of all these things, whether is there any organization behind it, or there are a lot of things which are behind curtains, which has been disclosed out by the police, by the crime branch, by the RPF, and the people who are investigating in it. Railway officers are not comfortable to disclose anything to the media because it is certain things which are the guidelines given by the seniors not to disclose anything with the media. And I will request my cameraman to again to be there on the spot. Actually, there was a hit on the cylinder, and it was being...
Right. Thank you so much, Amit, for bringing in all those details. Well, we've clearly run out of time, and now we are slipping into a very short break with all those news and updates. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more updates on the other side of this segment.
Hello, London. This is Mayor Weddle. Many of you are aware that we currently have a situation just north of town at the exit 49. I would like to say at this time that all of our first responders are safe, but I wanted to give everybody just a little update. Again, the subject or subjects have not been apprehended, but they are searching for them. Where they are currently, that is some rugged terrain and a lot of tree lines. If you guys know northern part of Laurel County, it's just is what it is. But I'm confident they will apprehend them. We are asking everybody in the city of limits to be vigilant and know what your surroundings. If you're home, keep your doors locked. I'm not asking anybody to panic. There is no immediate danger here in the city. But again, while these guys or this person is on the loose, we are asking everybody to be safe. If you're out and about, just be vigilant. There were 7, I'm being told 7 people that was injured. Not all of them was gunshots. Some of them was due to an accident. There is no deceased at this time. No one was killed from this, thankfully. But we ask that you continue to pray. Watch my Facebook, watch the city Facebook. We'll update you as the night progresses. I told our men that I won't go home until they do.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Well, now we are tracking some updates from Gujarat where Surat simmers as local clash over stone pelting by miners at Ganesh Pandal has been reported. Now, tensions ran high in Surat as a clash broke out between locals and a group of miners. These are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground. Let's take a look at our ground report from Surat right away.
रात को जिस तरह से गणपति पंडाल पे पथराव की एक घटना सामने आई थी, टीनेजरों के द्वारा ये पथराव करने का घटना के बाद हिंदू संगठन पहुंचे थे पुलिस के पास रजूआत करने और वहां से मामला आगे बढ़ रहा था। हिंदू संगठन बेकाबू हो गए थे, गाड़ियों में पथराव में तोड़फोड़ शुरू कर दी थी, गाड़ियों टेम्पो में आग लगाने की घटना सामने आई थी। हालांकि घटना के चलते पूरे सूरत की पुलिस को यहाँ पे डिप्लॉय कर दिया गया था, तैनात कर दिया था। दृश्य देख सकते हैं कि जिस तरह से यहाँ पे खड़ी ऑटो थी वहाँ तोड़फोड़ कर गई थी। लगातार पुलिस लोगों को समझाने का प्रयास कर रही थी, पर कितने पत्थरबाज, कितने जो असामाजिक तत्व थे वो टेरेस से पत्थर मार रहे थे। और जिस तरह से ये पूरा मामला बीती रात को करीबन 4 बजे तक चला था, लोगों को, पब्लिक को शांत करने में पुलिस को पसीने छूट गए थे। लोग समझने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे क्योंकि धार्मिक आस्था का पूरा मामला था और जिस तरह से ये तोड़फोड़ हुई थी, लोग बेकाबू थे। लोगों को पुलिस लगातार समझा रही थी मगर लोग समझने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे। अब प्रगीरथ सिंह गढ़वी उनसे बात करते हैं कि सर किस तरह का मामला था और क्या क्या हुआ है बीती रात।
कल रात को सैयदपुरा विस्तार में गणपति जी का जो पंडाल था वहाँ पे किसी ने पत्थर मारा किया था। हर गणपति जी के पंडाल में पुलिस तैनात होती है, उसी वक्त कल भी वहाँ तैनात पुलिस ने तुरंत ही स्थल पर ही इन लोगों को डिटेन कर लिया था। वहाँ ऑटो भी एक इस घटना में शामिल थी, उसको भी डिटेन कर लिया था। इनके ऊपर कानूनी कार्यवाही शुरू थी। इसी दौरान इस एरिया में कुछ भीड़ इकट्ठा हो गई। भीड़ में से किसी ने पत्थर मारा किया, तुरंत ही पुलिस ने एक्शन में आते हुए लोगों को वहाँ से बिखेर दिया था, माहौल अपने कंट्रोल में ले लिया था। लेकिन जिस जगह से पत्थर मारा हुआ वहाँ पे हमारी क्राइम ब्रांच, एसओजी और लोकल पुलिस ने जाके कॉम्बिंग की। उसी वक्त स्थल पे ही हमने 27 लोगों को डिटेन कर लिया था।
Well, those were the latest inputs that we were tracking from ground in Gujarat. Well, in case you've missed out on something, stay ahead of the curve and visit news18.com for all the latest and breaking news with up-to-date coverage on India, world, business, entertainment and cricket. News18.com, India's leading news website, combines accurate reporting with in-depth analysis, ensuring that readers stay informed on critical developments. With that, it's a wrap from our side. Stay informed and stay tuned to CNN News 18. Thanks for watching.
Brought to you by
Hello, London. This is Mayor Weddle. Many of you are aware that we currently have a situation just north of town at the exit 49. I would like to say at this time that all of our first responders are safe, but I wanted to give everybody just a little update. Again, the subject or subjects have not been apprehended, but they are searching for them. Where they are currently, that is some rugged terrain and a lot of tree lines. If you guys know northern part of Laurel County, it's just is what it is. But I'm confident they will apprehend them. We are asking everybody in the city of limits to be vigilant and know what your surroundings. If you're home, keep your doors locked. I'm not asking anybody to panic. There is no immediate danger here in the city. But again, while these guys or this person is on the loose, we are asking everybody to be safe. If you're out and about, just be vigilant. There were 7, I'm being told 7 people that was injured. Not all of them was gunshots. Some of them was due to an accident. There is no deceased at this time. No one was killed from this, thankfully. But we ask that you continue to pray. Watch my Facebook, watch the city Facebook. We'll update you as the night progresses. I told our men that I won't go home until they do.
Hello and a very good morning to all our viewers watching the breaking on CNN News 18 with me, Sakshi Singh Litori. Over the next 1 hour, we'll be bringing you all the top headlines from the nation and across the globe. At the top of this segment, discussing the much debated leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi's visit to the United States. Well, Rahul has stoked a fresh row during his visit to the US, Dallas specifically. In a big attack at the RSS, Rahul Gandhi claimed that the RSS and BJP have hijacked the education system of India on ideological basis and that most of the vice chancellors indeed have a background of the RSS. He praises China, says that it is dominating the global production and has no unemployment issue in their country. He has also taken a jibe at the Devta comment. He said that Devta in India actually means a person whose internal feelings are exactly the same as his external expression, meaning he is a completely transparent being. It does not mean God. Listen in to what the leader of opposition actually said.
The RSS believes that India is one idea. And we believe that India is a multiplicity of ideas. We believe that everybody should be allowed to participate. We believe that everybody should be allowed to dream. Everybody should be given space, regardless of their caste, language, religion, tradition, history. This is the fight. And the fight was crystallized in the election. When millions of people in India clearly understood that the Prime Minister of India is attacking the Constitution of India.
Gandhi and the Congress party have made it clear that their only objective is to spread falsehood against India. Their objective is divide and rule, and their loyalties lie with China because of the secret MOU that the Congress party had with the Communist Party of China. The world is aware that how China is facing a youth unemployment crisis and India is emerging as a global manufacturing hub. Rahul does not stop here. He predicts social tensions in India because the Congress party might be planning something big in its strategy of dividing communities in India. He attacks the Indian judicial system and the legal system just because he's out on bail, and he attacks the Hindu Sanatan concept of Devta. This has made it clear that Rahul Gandhi and the entire India alliance, in order for their attempt to grab power, can go to any extent to damage Bharat. They were rejected in 2014, they were rejected in 2019, and they were rejected in 2024, and they will be rejected in 2029. Rahul's speech is against everything that India and Bharat stands for.
So Devta in India actually means a person whose internal feelings are exactly the same as his external expression. Meaning he's a completely transparent being. Right? It does not mean God. So if this person tells me every single thing that he believes or he thinks, and he tells it to me, that's the definition of Devta. So to me, that is interesting about our politics. How do you suppress your own ideas? Right? How do you suppress your own fear, or how do you suppress your own greed, or how do you suppress your own ambition?
Our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining us live on the broadcast. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. This Rahul Gandhi and his connection with China has been much debated already, with BJP continuously mounting an attack on him. This time around, this new comment coming in over the unemployment challenge in China and in India has given us an added on, sort of point for the BJP to mount an attack on the leader of the opposition.
That's right, Sakshi, because, he was especially talking to students in Dallas, and he was talking in the context of skills, he was talking in the context of education. And that's when he made that comparison to China, saying that in stark contrast, China does not have this kind of an unemployment issue, even though India has better skill facilities. Well, of course, it's going to stoke, and I think it's already begun to, as far as comments on China is concerned. And not just this, I mean, in the past also, when he said that China is stronger than us economically in terms of military, caliber, and also the fact that he met up with the Chinese ambassador at the time of the Galwan controversy was taking place. The BJP has begun to attack Rahul Gandhi and accused him of actually being the one who's compromising on the idea of India, on national unity and integrity, and making comments, especially when you're abroad. When you run down your own country, and I'm using the words of the BJP, according to BJP, when you run down your own country and govern on a foreign soil, you are, one, painting a very incorrect and wrong picture about your country, and second, you only end up emboldening our enemies across the border.
Definitely, Pallavi. Also, another thing, apart from the China angle, that BJP continuously mounts an attack on when it comes to, the matters of Congress, is whenever Rahul Gandhi goes overseas, he starts attacking Indian functionaries over there. How exactly Congress is now, sort of retaliating towards BJP with every statement that the leader of opposition has passed?
Well, not just now. I mean, I think the Congress has always retaliated. And in fact, they show out an earlier video of the Prime Minister when he became the PM first in 2014. And he would go abroad, and over there, he would talk about the fact that how there was corruption before he came to power, how every time you had to pay money to get work done. So according to the Congress party, if this is not an example of the PM running down his own country, no matter they may be a political opponent, they may be your own country, then why should the BJP put these kind of accusations on the Congress?
Right. Also, Pallavi, this picture which is going viral of, Sam Pitroda receiving Rahul Gandhi is also something which is being debated much. If you could shed some light on that as well.
I think we need to understand that Sam Pitroda is now been reinstated as the chairperson of the Indian Overseas Congress. He was removed when bang in the middle of the Lok Sabha elections. The IOC chairperson, Sam Pitroda, was asked to step down because of his comments on the inheritance tax, which was something which was not suiting the Congress's line or his campaign for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. I think that comment of Sam Pitroda is going more viral, where he introduces Rahul Gandhi by saying that he is very intelligent, he's more intellectual than the BJP, and he's not a pappu. Those words are now being used by the BJP to say that this is Sam Pitroda's acknowledgement of the fact that Rahul Gandhi himself is actually a pappu.
Right. Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have BJP's R.P. Singh ji joining us on the broadcast. Mr. R.P. Singh, thank you so much for speaking to us. What would be your thought about this particular statement coming in from the leader of the opposition with regards to the unemployment challenge faced by China and then by India? He said that China certainly is not facing any such problem with that heavy population, but India is still facing it.
Well, that clearly shows that the document which he signed with the China Communist Party of China, he still goes by that line of the China, where he always praises China and demeans India. But the fact is that he doesn't know that today women are being employed under Lakpati scheme of the Prime Minister, where drone Didi are being made in every village, and then technology is being used by the Prime Minister Modi's scheme, where women are being employed. But that point aside, the biggest issue which he has raised, which we are missing on, is that he is saying that India is not a nation. He still, Mr. Even Sam Pitroda, they are talking about that India is Union of States, as if India has been created after 1947. The fact is, India has been a nation 1,000 years, 5,000, 10,000 years. But they keep reiterating that India is Union of States. And they are not aware that the Pandals from Kerala go to Badrinath, or Pandals from Karnataka goes to Kedarnath, or Pandals from Chennai, Tamil Nadu goes to Kashi Vishwanath. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he offered gold to Harimandir in Amritsar and also to Kashi Vishwanath. So India has been one nation throughout, but they don't accept that India has been a nation. India has been culturally one nation, and that we believe in. That the ideology of BJP is that India has been a culturally one nation. And the language which Mr. Rahul Gandhi speaks, or his fellows speak, that India is Union of States, the same language is being used by Amritpal Singh. He also said that India is Union of States, so we as a state has a separate right to identify and decide our future course of action. So that's the problem, that they don't want India to be seen as one cultural nation.
Right, Mr. Singh, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18 and putting your perspective across. Going back to our senior editor, Pallavi continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, this Devta remark that the leader of the opposition specifically mentioned over there, it does look like, a concealed or an invisible attack at the BJP. What's your idea?
Well, towards the end of that comment, he talks about the fact that, this has become something which is a part of our politics. Very clearly, that's a dig, I would say, at the Prime Minister, that how the BJP portrays him as a Devta, as God, where that's not really what Devtas are all about. And he says that Devta is no longer a concept, and it's in fact not a concept of God or deity. It's about, the emotions of a person and his external demeanor. Now, this is again which has stoked a controversy, and the BJP has always accused Rahul Gandhi of not, or rather demeaning Hinduism, and only talking about Hindu religion selectively when the elections round the corner. In stark contrast, the Congress, more specifically, I would say Rahul Gandhi, has often accused the BJP and the Prime Minister himself of projecting himself as, someone who's bigger than a human being, someone who's God, and someone who's not being very realistic and not understanding the problems of the people.
Right, Pallavi, we have already spoken about the kind of jibes that have come in from Rahul Gandhi and the debates which are happening here back at home. But if we were to look at the larger picture, Rahul Gandhi also spoke about his idea of how exactly Indian politics should look like, imbibing respect as well as love and humility in Indian politics. What exactly did he say there, and what he tried to say over there as well?
Well, actually, he spoke about 3 cardinal principles which he feels should be my responsibility to convey to the people. And that is about humanity, that is about inclusivity, that is about respecting each other. You don't make a difference between people on the basis of religion or caste or the kind of creed you belong to. And again, this is his way of trying to show that how the Congress is very different from the BJP. In fact, in his speech, he very clearly says that, it was very clear this time around in the Lok Sabha election that people understood what I was talking about, that people accepted the fact that the Prime Minister was indeed compromising or attacking the Constitution, that he had scant regard for the respect of the people and the idea of one India. That's his poll pitch, not just for Lok Sabha, but I think that's essentially going to be the kind of politics which Rahul Gandhi is going to project himself as standing for.
Right, Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have Congress's Udit Raj also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Udit, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. BJP is asking this question again, that while you are on an international stage, is it fair for you as leader of the opposition to touch upon and in fact blame Indian functionaries at this point of time, that too not in your country, outside of your country?
Whether inside or outside, nothing is hidden. There was a time when, of course, there was a revolution in information. Today, what we do not know, even global communities know if they are looking for the information, if they are aware. So what happened, what Rahul ji has said is very apt. He said that, of course, in educational institutions, and it's a single-minded person. Those who support RSS, they are being recruited. That means that only that the diversity, country, our beauty, beauty of the country is a diversity. We have a diverse culture, regional languages, regional festivals, regional tradition, customs, and many religions. What happened that has to be celebrated. But what happened that imposing one particular ideology is what? Is an indication of dictatorship. Already the country is facing a dictatorial regime. So this is what he has said, and he is very apt. And I don't think that when Modi ji goes, then of course he said also that there is corruption in India, then nobody has come to this place for so many years. He reaches after arrival at different places in the different countries. He says that I am reaching after 30 years, I am reaching after 40 years. What does it mean that? Of course, that is also criticism of previous government.
Right, Mr. Udit Raj, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18 and putting your perspective across right now, touching upon another crucial headline of the hour. It's been exactly a month since a trainee doctor on duty was brutally raped and murdered at RG Medical Hospital in Kolkata. The Supreme Court will hear the suo motu petition in the matter today, where a 3-judge bench of the top court led by the Honorable Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and also comprising Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra will hear the matter. Yesterday only, doctors, civil society members and political parties took to the streets demanding justice. Abhaya's parents also joined the movement, reiterating their claim that the police had destroyed the key evidence in the case. Meanwhile, West Bengal's Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is all set to hold an administrative meeting today. Top Raj Bhavan sources also told CNN News 18 that the governor, C.V. Anand Bose, had asked Chief Minister to call an emergency cabinet meeting and had directed to replace all the top police commissioner.
This is jurisdiction of Honorable Supreme Court. We just want from CBI that CBI must make it very clear that in the RG case, whether that Sanjay Rai, the only one who has been arrested, and that too arrested by Kolkata police, whether this Sanjay Rai, he is alone or not, that should be cleared by CBI. If not, then who are persons?
जवाहर सरकार किस लिए रिज़ाइन दिए है वो तो अपने लेटर में उन्होंने व्यक्त किया है, लेकिन ये सही है कि ममता बनर्जी की पावर में आने के पहले ममता बनर्जी, बाहर के आने के बाद की ममता बनर्जी, इसमें ज़मीन और आसमान का डिफरेंसेस है। और वो शायद दूर से देख रहे थे, राजनीति में तो थे नहीं जवाहर सरकार जी। जब आए तब उनको पता चला कि ममता बनर्जी तो अभी करप्ट ममता बनर्जी बन चुकी है, करप्शन की रानी बन चुकी है। तो पहले से वो अनसेटिस्फाइड थे, हम दोनों एक ही कमेटी में थे। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि हमारी जो डिमांड है कि ममता बनर्जी कब छोड़ेगी, कब शी शुड रिजाइन, ये हमारा पहले से मांग रहा, और व्हेन इज शी गोइंग टू गिव द रेजिग्नेशन।
एक तरफ मैंने डॉक्टर्स के डिमांड का बस सपोर्ट किया है, एक तरफ मैंने ममता जी के बारे में कहा कि ममता जी ने जो बिल लेकर आई हैं वो वाकई ऐतिहासिक है, बहुत ज़बरदस्त है। और इसमें इस मामले में किसी मुख्यमंत्री को, चीफ मिनिस्टर को दोषी ठहराना ये बिल्कुल वाजिब नहीं होगा, क्योंकि एक मुख्यमंत्री हो या प्रधानमंत्री हो, सारे एक एक गली एक एक शहर हर तरफ नहीं देख रहे, उनकी निगरानी होती है, वो डिपार्टमेंटलाइज्ड होता है, कंपार्टमेंटलाइज होता है। जो इशू है वो बहुत जघन्य है, वो नीचता का परिणाम है, बहुत घिनौना हुआ है।
Our editor East Kamalika Sen Gupta and our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar, both of them are joining us live on the broadcast. Kamalika, first coming to you exactly 1 month. It's 9th of September. The horrific case transpired on 9th of August. How far has the case reached?